who also participated in the thematic briefing on ICT, to hear his statement. You have the floor.
Good afternoon. Can I confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Marvellous. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to express our gratitude on behalf of Tech Against Terrorism for the invitation to attend the special meeting in Delhi and the extraordinary hospitality of the Government of India. We'd like to express our appreciation for the unprecedented level of participation at that event, including from governments, companies, academia, and representatives from civil society, in our view, underlining the very purpose of the UN in bringing together diverse stakeholders to discuss and help solve some of the vexing problems facing the world. We would like to confirm our sincere support for the Delhi Declaration in emphasising the strategic importance of tackling the terrorist use of new and emerging technologies whilst respecting human rights. Tech Against Terrorism is a public-private partnership focused on supporting small and emerging internet technologies in tackling the terrorist use of the internet whilst respecting human rights. I would like to thank in particular UN CTED for its long-term support of Tech Against Terrorism, and also the support from the Government of Canada, US and the United Kingdom. Our work at Tech Against Terrorism primarily focuses on building capacity with platforms. This is a long-term initiative focused on improving content moderation policy, mentorship, providing bespoke research to platforms, open source intelligence, and building technology that's accessible and affordable for small platforms such as the Terrorist Content Analytics Platform, or the TCAP. In terms of future risks that we believe require urgent attention, the main one is the increased use of decentralized platforms, especially in the context of recent developments regarding a number of big tech platforms. We also believe that it's imperative that we ensure stakeholders continue to apply pressure on the largest technology platforms so that they ensure that their current content moderation efforts are maintained despite global economic headwinds adding pressure on finances. We're also gravely concerned about the increased use of so-called terrorist-operated websites. In principle, these are sites that can be owned and operated by terrorists and stay online for many years. And at the moment, there is little clarity about how to deal with these sites. There is almost no international consensus on how to do so. We also believe that whilst large platforms are generally very good at responding to online terrorist crisis events, unfortunately, smaller platforms currently have limited capacity. On this basis, the focus of Tech Against Terrorism in 2023, first of all, we will focus on continued collaboration with the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism, in particular through a number of global workshops, for instance, in Canada and Singapore. At Tech Against Terrorism, we continue to build technology for smaller platforms to help them improve the identification of verified terrorist content and take appropriate action. We will be focusing on increasing the volume of alerts through the Terrorist Content Analytics Platform, improving coverage across a broader range of internet platforms to track content as it flows across the internet, and we'll be archiving material to improve analysis, to support hashing, and also to improve trust and confidence in referrals that are being made. It's imperative when discussing the content moderation efforts that transparency is reinforced so that platforms, civil society, academia can be sure that decisions that are being made about the removal of content are in support of international law norms and in respect of human rights. We will also be focusing on increasing mentorship efforts alongside the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism to ensure that smaller platforms have the right skills and tools to tackle the terrorist use of their services. In closing my remarks, I'd like to make a number of recommendations. The first is that we believe it's imperative to continue investing in improving global norms to help build consensus on how best to tackle the terrorist use of the internet whilst respecting human rights. As David Sharir from CTED said earlier in this event, it's important to stress that collaboration between governments and platforms and civil society is now more important than ever before, given the global nature of the threat. We also believe it's important to increase the focus on normative approaches in tackling the terrorist use of the internet by extreme far-right actors, because at the moment, there are very few international norms that focus on the extreme far right. We also would like to encourage UN members to ensure that emerging online safety regulations are as specific as possible about how they define terrorist content. And this is mainly to ensure that internet platforms can respond in an appropriate manner. Finally, I would like to commend CTED for its support of Tech Against Terrorism, and would like to encourage more efforts to support public-private partnerships, which we believe are and will be crucial in tackling problems that require a whole of society and global approach. Thank you very much.
I thank Mr. Hadley for his statement. We will now hear the statement from